Iraqi news updates. From iqdcalls.com chat. March 19, 2019. Highlights of news brought in by chattels and others. Shaker Hamid, spokesman for the Speaker of the House of Representatives Mohammed Halbizi, on Tuesday, the Council rejected the draft amendments to the Iraqi nationality law as it is currently. Iraq's Sunni community is currently facing a crisis of authority and identity. Land swaps with Saudi Arabia, book claims. Kushner's peace plan includes land swaps with Saudi Arabia, book claims. A draft of the plan included an oil pipeline from Saudi Arabia to Gaza, according to newly released Kushner Incorporated. White House senior advisor Jared Kushner's Middle East peace plan at one point included Jordan giving land to the Palestinian territories and in return getting land from Saudi Arabia, according to a new book on the Kushner family. Nationality law as it is currently. The presidency of the parliament in a statement on its official spokesman, Shaker Hamid, the council believes that the draft amendments to the Iraqi nationality law number 26 is rejected in its current form. The statement said, the political forces in the House of Representatives support the vote on the draft amendments the days ahead for the purpose of returning him to the government, and study it again. It is noteworthy that the Parliament was completed at its meeting last Monday, the first reading of the draft amendment to the first law of nationality. The cabinet meets under the chairmanship of Abdul Mahdi. Kurdish parties end their meeting in Sulaymaniyah. Parliament decides to hold its next meeting Sunday instead of Saturday. News of a planned visit to Baghdad by Assad. Deputy Governor of Dikr discusses with the French consul investment opportunities in the province of Ave. Saleh to U.S. envoy, we are building our relations with brothers and friends to achieve the highest national interests. During his meeting with the Minister of Commerce of Qatar. Abdul Mahdi, Iraq is a friend of all and will not return to the policies of destructive wars and focus. Prime Minister agrees to compensate Basra farmers affected by floods. High Nassif reveals a number of corruption files that the government cannot control. Number of files of corruption, which the government cannot control. She said in a televised statement followed by Nina that there are many files of corruption that drain the country's resources, the most important file of oil licenses, the file of smuggling oil, and smuggling drugs that the government cannot control, calling on the Prime Minister to hold a meeting with the political blocs to inform them of these files, and work to address them. Ministry of Health spokesman, I have no knowledge of the minister's resignation, and he is doing his job normally. Assad, during his reception with Al-Ghanmi and the Iranian Chief of Staff, stressed the importance of continued cooperation between the three countries. High Nassif reveals a number of corruption files that the government cannot control. Saifadi and Araqat confirm that the Jordanian and Palestinian positions are compatible with the peace process. Halabisi is discussing with the U.S. Special Envoy to coordinate efforts to fight a duel in the border areas with Syria. Furat al-Tamimi calls on the government to refuse to install the director of the Diyala Electoral Commission for these reasons. Hakim denounces the Netherlands incident and warns of its recurrence. Accountability and Justice confirms to Nina the lack of access to the names of new candidates for vacant ministries for scrutiny. Foreign Minister discusses with the chairman of the Foreign Relations Committee the cooperation between the legislative and executive authorities. Al-Mahmoudai calls on the Ministers of Finance and Labor to expedite the issuance of controls for the conversion of people with daily wages into contracts. Kozert Messenger, a true partnership basis for the success of the next government. Jordanian parliament recommends expulsion of Israeli ambassador from Amman. President and members of the political body of the Sadrist movement meet Jafar al-Sadr. Rouhani orders a lawsuit against the United States for economic sanctions. Zarif, a spiritual visit to Iraq solved the issues accumulated for decades. The Palestinian National Council condemns the false decision of the Israeli occupation court to close the Bab al-Rahma chapel of the Al-Aqsa Mosque. The Ministry of Immigration intends to open offices in 7 countries. Haddad stresses to the Kurdish forces the need to unite visions and strengthen relations between the parliamentary blocs. Discussing the development of joint relations between the Iraqi and Turkish courts. Turkmen parties demand the withdrawal of the Peshmerga forces from within the administrative border of the province of Kirkuk. More chat, news, and calls about the Iraq dinar and GCR at iqdcalls.com. Thanks for tuning in. Like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you can be notified the second we load new videos.